So this is Steve Sparks on a beautiful day in Little Whale Cove, and I'm sitting out here on the picnic bench looking out there at that beautiful ocean there. And I'm just going to let this go and let you enjoy the sea and listen to the waves and feel the wind. Well, Michelle,
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just sitting here looking at
Seen any whales?
Not yet.
Yeah,
How you guys doing?
pretty good.
That's
Got my
great.
dad visiting, so
Oh, really? Good.
yeah,
How's he doing?
he's doing pretty
Uh-huh.
good. He turned 93 last week. So
Wow. Well,
he's doing okay.
that's great to hear. Well, I hope the little guy there is doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Enjoy. Judy's out there. You may run into her.
Oh, okay. Haven't seen you guys for a while. How's your foot doing?
Well, it's doing pretty good. I'm not having surgery.
Oh, you're not?
It's just too. I'm not able to do it right now. I can manage the pain. This is how.
Yeah.
Looking at the ocean, isn't this beautiful? Aren't we lucky?
We are very lucky.
Oh yeah.
Very fortunate.
Yeah. Healing.
Yeah.
See you later.
Okay.
so peaceful, isn't it
It's
peaceful?
beautiful.
How
I
you,
took the long way to go get my mail.
how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Real good, just peaceful. Isn't it peaceful?
Sometimes I
That's-
come out here in the morning and drink my coffee.
Yeah,
It's a
it's-
perfect spot.
I'm kind of into mindfulness meditation.
Have you ever heard of Calm?
Yes.
I do that every morning.
Isn't that cool?
I love it. This is the perfect place for it.
I kind of produce all that kind of stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I do. Right here, everything I do is right here in Little Whale Cove. I'll send you my YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
Do you know how I can?
You're Steve, right?
Steve Sparks.
Michelle just told me. I'm Lorinda. I live right here on 465 at the Edgewater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the book. Or do you want me to send you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I would really like that. What's your phone number?
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
509
Uh-huh.
670 7766.
I can be technically challenged sometimes, so it's easier for me just to call you. Then you have my number.
You can, if you call me a little bit later, or you can call me right now. That's cool, and text me.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's calling you right now. So when I get home, I'll actually text you and give you my name and email.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd love that. I really would.
Well, I do. This is my life doing this kind of work, and I do a lot of writing, but it's all about love and kindness and mindfulness meditation. How could you not do it any better?
You couldn't be in a better spot. I'm so anxious to hear from you.
Well, you will. I have quite a platform for this.
Awesome.
Healing.
Okay.
A lot about behavioral health and.
I'm a pharmacist, so
Well,
I try to tell my patients that all the time.
you will really love my website.
I'm really excited.
And we just published a new book too.
Oh, what's it called?
The Furry Loved Ones and Wildlife Friends Who Touch Our Hearts.
That sounds beautiful. Sounds really nice.
It's a fun book.
Very cool. Well, I'm going to text you as soon as I get home, and then you'll have my information.
Well, thank you. And I'm doing one of my films right now, and it's all about doing it naturally, not in a way that's scripted.
Right.
So I love having friends and neighbors stop by because that's all part of the experience.
I volunteer.
All the wildlife, I write about the wildlife here. I have names for I have one seagull friend named Old George. Have a seat.
It sounds familiar. We moved from Portland originally, but we lived in Lincoln City. And I had a seagull that I called my husband called him Big Dog, because I could just feed him out of my hand. He would take stuff out of my hand. But we name we have a couple bunnies, and we feed all the birds the corn cob and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
And our book, by the way, is all about connecting with furry loved ones and wildlife friends right here in the Cove. And I've written about many of our own furry loved ones here in the neighborhood. Some have passed on, so I have some Rainbow Bridge stories in there. And I named the Canadian hawkers down there in the Cove Matt and Maddie.
There's always two there.
There's always two, and they come back every year. There are generations of them, and they fly down here for a while and nest and get those little goslings out. And we like to watch them, and we hope that all 7 of them will survive, because sometimes Grits, the intrepid eagle.
Is that what you named him?
Yeah.
Grits,
the intrepid eagle. So Grits is up there watching over, and sometimes Matt, who watches over everything, they're really good at watching for stuff.
And sometimes he can save his babies.
Yeah, Matt's pretty tough.
I believe it.
Matt keeps all the the other Canadian hawkers from Big Whale Cove away. Sometimes I was down there and there was a couple of them. They came in, and Matt, boy, before the babies were born, he was out there, and boy, he kept, because they have their eggs over there in the bushes going up to Big Whale Cove.
Right.
So he's out there.
Ready to
He
attack.
keeps those dudes from Big Whale.
Cool.
These are the bad boys.
That is very cool.
And they come in and they're jealous of them because they have this whole thing in Little Whale Cove all to themselves. Nobody else. But the seagulls are there, and they all get along because sometimes the Canadian hawkers, if they can't keep the egg for some reason, they'll drop it in so the seagulls kind of help out.
So, like, they'll drop it specifically for the seagulls?
No, they'll drop it in the nest.
Oh.
Or the oyster catchers especially are known, if they're unable to handle an egg or something happens, they'll drop it in the seagull nest.
You're kidding. And do they nest on it?
They'll bring it out.
The oyster, are those the ones with the orange beak?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're my favorite.
I know, they're beautiful.
So we've got we've named Olive and Olivia.
Very cool.
And we've got, so that I've written about them. And then,
I have to share a story. Yesterday when I was walking, I've never seen this before. The seagull was sitting on the rock, and there's tons of room, tons of space, but another seagull flew up to him, and the seagull that was there originally grabbed a hold of his wing and held it in his beak, and the other seagull couldn't get away until he finally pulled away. But it made me think, why can't we all get along? Like,
well,
there's so much rock here.
We're predispositioned to things, and they're not. They only know love and kindness, and then they protect each other, and they protect their clans, and they all have it set up as communities, and then they help one another when they all need help.
So someone from another community comes in.
Oh yeah, they're all that's going on around here, and the seals and the gray whales and everything here they all get along. They don't do the stuff we do.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that, and that's why I write about it. Because I want to show people be reminded of what love and kindness is all about. How about that?
That's pretty cool. Yeah. And that's pretty important. So
it was really nice meeting you. What was your first name?
Lorinda.
Lorinda. It was so wonderful to meet you and have this conversation.
It was really nice meeting you, Mr. Sparks.
You call me Steve. Most people call me Sparky.
Okay.
And then my daughter calls me Pops. And then my new grandson's going to call me Pops.
Awesome.
And then my wife's name is Judy, and she's Grammy.
Okay. Well, I'll remember Sparky. All right. I look forward to talking to you.
See you later.
All right.